So you've heard of Zeus, king of the Greek gods, master of the thunderbolt, famous for his bad temper. And you think he's intimidating? Honestly, his family drama is child's play. We're about to take a journey into a world where the gods weren't just jealous or petty, they were genuinely horrifying. They demanded rivers of blood and wore the flayed skins of their followers, all just to keep the sun moving across the sky. Their entire universe was built on a cosmic debt paid in flesh and bone, a level of brutality that makes the arguments on Mount Olympus look like a polite disagreement. These are the 7 Aztec gods more terrifying than Zeus. Number 7. Coatlicue, the serpent-skirted mother. Kicking off our list is a goddess who is the poster child for the terrifying link between creation and destruction. Coatlicue, the mother of the gods. Her name means serpent skirt, and her look is pure nightmare fuel. Forget the calm, motherly figures you see in other pantheons. Coatlicue wears a skirt made of living, writhing snakes and a necklace of human hearts, severed hands, and skulls. Her hands and feet are armed with vicious claws, and her head has been replaced by 2 massive serpents, representing blood gushing forth. Her most famous story starts not with a bang, but with a feather. While she was sweeping a shrine, a ball of feathers fell from the sky. Her other children, the moon goddess Coyolxauhqui and her 400 brothers, the star gods, were furious. Believing their mother had shamed them, they stormed the sacred Snake Mountain with one goal, to kill her. And this is where Coatlicue story leaves Greek myth in the dust. As her murderous children closed in, her unborn son, Huitzilopochtli, burst forth. He arrived fully grown, fully armed, and ready for war. What happened next wasn't a debate or a banishment. It was a massacre. He sliced off his sister Coyolxauhqui's head and threw it into the sky to become the moon, then hunted down his 400 star god brothers. Zeus hid from his father to survive. Coatlicue gave birth to a ready-made warrior who immediately butchered his siblings to protect her. She's terrifying not for what she does, but for what she creates. A universe born from brutal primal violence. Number 6. Tlaloc, the giver and taker of rain. Every culture has a storm god, but nobody had one quite like Tlaloc. While Zeus threw lightning bolts when he was angry, Tlaloc's terror was way more sinister. He was the god of rain, water, and fertility, but he was incredibly fickle. If he was happy, your crops grew. If he wasn't, he'd send drought, floods, rheumatism, and even leprosy. He was shown with goggle eyes and jaguar fangs, a creature from the deep, ruling from his mountain caves. To keep him happy, the Aztecs didn't just offer up prayers. They offered tears. Specifically, the tears of children. Priests believed that the children's crying was a crucial part of the ceremony, a magical sign that would bring the rain. If the children didn't cry on the way to the altar, priests would sometimes resort to pulling out their fingernails to make sure tears would flow. Archaeological finds at the Templo Mayor, the main temple in the Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan, have confirmed this horror. In 1980, archaeologists found offering 48, the remains of at least 42 children sacrificed to Tlaloc, likely during a devastating drought. Zeus might punish a city with a storm, but his anger never required the systematic slaughter of children. Tlaloc's terror was the cold, calculated belief that the survival of the many depended on the suffering of the few. Number 5. Mictlantecuhtli, the skeletal lord of the dead. Every mythology has an underworld, but the Aztec land of the dead, Mictlan, makes Hades look like a long weekend in the countryside. Ruling over it all was Mictlantecuhtli. He wasn't just a king. He was a vision of death, a towering, blood-spattered skeleton. His face was a bare skull, but his eye sockets held living eyeballs. His jewelry? A necklace of human eyeballs and earrings of bone. Unlike the Greek underworld, almost every soul in the Aztec world was headed for Mictlan. Only warriors and special cases got a pass. For everyone else, Death meant a grueling 4-year journey through the 9 hells of Mictlan, each designed to strip away your identity. You'd face crushing mountains, winds as sharp as obsidian, and frozen rivers, all before arriving at the final layer. Zeus could visit the underworld and leave. Mictlantecuhtli was the underworld, a relentless, devouring force at the end of suffering. Number 4. Tonatiuh, the sun that thirsts for hearts. The sun gives life, but for the Aztecs, it also demanded death. This was the territory of Tonatiuh, the 5th sun, the god of the world we live in now. The gods gathered in darkness. A humble god named Nanawatson showed his courage by leaping into a divine fire to create a new sun. He emerged as the new sun, Tonatiuh. But there was a catch. He was motionless in the sky. Tonatiuh refused to move until he was fed. So the other gods sacrificed themselves, offering their own energy to start his journey. This set a terrifying precedent. To keep the sun from falling and prevent star demons called Sitsimim from eating humanity, blood was non-negotiable. Tonatiuh is the face and the center of the famous sunstone. He's a ravenous being with a sacrificial knife for a tongue. Every day, victims were marched to the Templo Mayor. A priest would use an obsidian blade to feed the sun god. The Greek sun god Helios just drove his chariot. Tonatiuh was a cosmic engine fueled by a river of sacrifice. His terror wasn't about being evil, it was about being necessary. If the sacrifices stopped, the world ended. If you find the darker side of mythology fascinating, take a second to hit that subscribe button. The horror only escalates from here. Number 3. Zeus, the flayed lord. A god of spring, but his method for bringing life is one of the most horrifying things. Zeus represented the seed that loses its shell to grow. To symbolize this, he flayed his own skin to feed humanity. During the festival of Tlacuaxtepeha, war captives were sacrificed. Their blood would symbolize fertile spring rain. Afterward, priests wore the full skins of these victims for 20 days, becoming living impersonations of Zeus. As the days passed, the skin would putrefy and fall off, a grotesque symbol of rebirth. Zeus is shown wearing victims' hands. Zeus oversaw the harvest from a distance. Zeus demanded his priests wear death as a costume to celebrate life. Number 2. Tezcatlipoca, the smoking mirror. If Huitzilopochtli was the patron god of the Aztecs, Tezcatlipoca was the god of pretty much everything else. His name means smoking mirror, a reference to his obsidian mirror that could reveal the secret thoughts and fates of anyone, god or mortal. He often carried this mirror where his left foot should be, which he lost while fighting a sea monster to create the world. He was the ultimate trickster god, a shape-shifting sorcerer who could appear as a jaguar, a skeleton, or a shadowy figure. He was the god of the night, fate, chaos, and black magic. Tezcatlipoca was everywhere, weaving traps and testing mankind with both good fortune and total ruin. It was he who tricked his great rival, Quetzalcoatl, into shame and exile, ending a mythical golden age. His most famous ritual was as much psychological as it was physical. Each year, a flawless young man, the most physically perfect captive, was chosen to become the Ixipla, the living incarnation of Tezcatlipoca. For 1 full year, he was treated like a god. He was dressed in fine clothes, taught to play the flute. He walked among the people, who worshipped him as the deity himself. But when the year was up, his divine life came to a terrible end. He was led to a small temple. As he climbed the steps, he broke his flutes, one by one, symbolizing the end of his perfect life. At the top, he willingly lay down on the sacrificial altar, where his heart was torn from his chest. Zeus might use a disguise to trick a mortal. Tezcatlipoca's games were cosmic. He didn't just trick you. He made you the star of a year-long play that ended with your own ritual death, a masterpiece of psychological horror. Number 1. Huitzilopochtli, the hummingbird of the south. The god who is arguably the most terrifying and bloodthirsty of them all is Huitzilopochtli. Born from his mother's womb in a storm of violence, he was the divine warrior who defended the cosmos. His name means hummingbird of the south, linking the souls of fallen warriors to the direction of power. The entire Aztec Empire was, in many ways, a machine built to feed him. The Aztecs waged flower wars with their neighbors for the sole purpose of capturing enemy warriors alive to be used as sacrifices. His shrine sat at the very top of the Templo Mayor, right next to Tlalocs. This was the epicenter of Aztec sacrifice. For the reconsecration of this temple, in 1487, accounts claim that over 20,000 prisoners were sacrificed over 4 days. Bodies were kicked down the stairs, tumbling to land on a giant stone carving of Huitzilopochtli's dismembered sister. Zeus demanded loyalty and maybe a bull sacrifice. Huitzilopochtli demanded a constant river of human blood to fight off eternal darkness. He represents the institutionalization of horror, where industrial-scale slaughter was the only thing keeping the world from falling apart. From serpent-skinned mothers to gods wearing flayed skin, the Aztec pantheon operated on a level far beyond the family feuds of the Greeks. Theirs was a universe built on a terrifying foundation, that creation itself was violent, and life could only continue through death. The terror was in the chilling belief that their horrifying demands were the only thing holding back the end of the world. Which of these gods did you find the most terrifying? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe for more stories from the ancient world. Thanks for watching.